Hello guys, welcome to your fourth step to become Git and GitHub Don. So in our last tutorial, we looked at how we can add and comment on our files locally on our machine. So in this tutorial, what you are going to be doing is we are going to create a new repository on our GitHub, right? And push our codes or files from our local machine to our GitHub repository, right? So first of all, I want us to open the git bash terminal. Now navigate to the file called git. So I'll just drag and drop, press enter. Then let me increase it a bit so that you can see what's going on. So before we do anything, let's type git status. Don't forget this, your friend. So it says we are on our master branch, nothing to comment, working tree is clean, so it means we are good to go. So let's go to our web browser. I've already opened my account. If you don't have an account, you have to create one. So here we have this new tab here, so you click on it to create a repository. All right, so you have to fill in these forms before we can be able to create the repository. So we have to give a repository name. So I would say git toots, right? And then GitHub will check whether the name is available for you. If it's available, you can continue. And here we have two commands here, two options here. We have the public and private, right? The public actually means everyone can have access to your code if you push it there. But then if you take the private, it means it's only you or a few people you invite on can have access to the code. So for now, let's leave it as public, right? But in future, if you are working with an organization for security purpose, you have to just put it on private. And after that, we can now create our repository. All right, so we have a couple of methods we can use to push our files from our local machine to our GitHub. So here it says quick step. If you have done this kind of thing before, we will talk about that one later. You say blah blah blah, or create a new repository on a command line. And then here it says or push an existing repository from your command line. And then we also have importing code from another repository. So I would like us to use the two methods. So for the first one, we are going to use the first one, which is a quick step. I call it drag and drop because it's actually easy. But then later on, we look at a next step, which is more cool than this one. So you click on upload an existing file. All right, so once this opens, you can drag and drop your files in here. So let me open my git folder. Now we'll drag, let me position it well. I'll drag and drop it right here. So it will start downloading. All right, so once we are done, we can add comments to it. It says this is our first push, right? And let's comment the changes. All right guys, so we've been able to push our files from our local machine onto our GitHub repository, right? So the repository name is git toots, right? And in here we have two files. the index, and then the index CSS, and then the index HTML. So this is a cool way of uploading files to your GitHub repository, right? It's actually easy, but then it has some, should I say, negativity. So imagine if you have hundreds, thousands of files. I think they even have, you can upload or drag and drop not more than 20 files. Yeah, so think about it. If you have a huge number of files and you have to drag and drop them small bit by bit, it will actually take time, right? So I'm going to show you another method you can use to push your codes from your local machine to your GitHub repository. So for now, I think this opens another cool way for us to know some settings on our local, on our GitHub repository. So let's go to settings, right? So here we can change the name of the repository here, and then when you come down here, you can change the visibility. You can change it to private, right? And then you can also transfer ownership. You can archive this repository, but then I want us to delete this repository, right? I want us to delete this repository. I actually need some drink so that I can talk to you all. So it explains things to you, and then once you are done, you have to just type in the repository name, which has been highlighted. So I'll just copy and paste it here. Once I'm done, oh no, I'm not done. Let me add the J here. Okay, once I'm done, I can click on I understand the consequences, delete this repository. So I can now delete this repository. All right, so now it's deleted, right? But then I want to show you another cool way we can use to push our codes from our local machine to our GitHub repository.